Creativity is an addiction. I talk with some of the biggest names in the world when it comes to entertainment, books, movies, and we all agree. Creativity is an addiction. Doesn't mean it's a bad addiction. It's just an addiction. Learning to understand and work with that addiction is how you're going to grow forward and get away from this thing that people always say, well, I've got writer's block. There's no such thing. You just think everything sucks. That's what it is. Just get beyond that. Unplug, because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. It's almost like a brand new year. That's what it felt like. Once July 4th was over here in the United States, we were all together. I mean, the baseball field here in Charlotte had over 10,000 people together in one place, with the Delta variant just going rampant everywhere. Everybody's together. I DJ'd a performance with 300 people plus, and we were all together. And then the morning after, you're like going, did that really happen? Because a year ago at this time, it didn't happen. And I've been challenging myself to go back into my daily writing to see, well, what was I writing back then? I know that we went through this for 17, 18 months, but what did I really go through? And there's a side of my personality that is actually saying, no, I really don't want you to go back there to see what he was doing. It's too early, and I don't want you to live in space that rightfully belongs to you, but it doesn't belong to this moment of now. Hey, it's Arroe. This is The Daily Mess, a chronological walk through an everyday world. I am that daily writer. It's just one of those things that I've been doing for 27 years this month. What do I have to show for it? We could sit down and have a cup of coffee, a glass of Coke, maybe some kombucha, and we could go over it. But my main goal wouldn't be to say, hey, this is what I've done. I would like to see how you've changed because of things that have taken place, to see how you've grown, to see how you are enlightened by something that has nothing to do with either one of us, but yet you've got the power to make that chance and that change a reality. This is The Daily Mess. Messing around with the mind. Can we count on one hand the number of things that have the strength to redevelop the performance on how we think and or react? Messing around with the mind. Developing a relationship with how we think. It's always positive. It's always a brand new beginning. But just like a global leader, there's always a newer way to get by without having to get by. You understand what I mean? Get by meaning, everything's okay, without ever passing. There's always a way to get by without having to get by. No matter how much we invest in having a positive outlook, I often wonder how much energy is wasted fighting off that darkness. A positive person may not take on the question, while those who are overtaken by doubt, fear, and shame can't shut off what the question is, and they can't explain it. It messes with the mind, influencing the presentation of the actuality of the personality. I've always seen myself as an optimistic pessimist. I'm open to all sides, but fear inside that anything can dominate the next decision. To keep it under control, that is my daily experience. And that's why I write in the morning. And I also keep a defrag journal. And you never want to see that defrag journal. Because when that writer, that creative mind, is not in the mood to write, through writing, that little bugger has some anger issues. He's got some really deep problems. Because when he doesn't want to write and I'm forcing myself to write, you got to try it sometime, because it's a great experience for you to see what's on the inside of your deeper self. What you do is you throw it out there just to see if things stick. And isn't that what most of us do anyway? Giving it a shot, taking a chance, all or nothing. Always the walker, hardly ever the solid line that runs parallel right beside your writing or creative self. I don't know about you, but I find energy in taking chances. It's an opportunity. Then again, why don't we break this down? Is it an opportunity, or is it the assignment? What's the greater calling? How many of us are addicted to seeking the next big chance and not making a proper investment in what you think that you've been assigned to do? How do you know the exact difference? Is broadcasting really my calling, or is it my ego gone wild? If the evidence proves that it's self-serving, well, we already know what that answer is, don't we? So you've got to continue to sway the performance, to play out the difference in your directions. In all things that we do, the greater gift is always present. To see it and to experience it demands our daily attention. To find it is honesty, it's trust. But are you faithful to your real self? That's a heavy question. Are you faithful to your real self? Or do you show up at work because you need the paycheck? You need the insurance. Are you faithful to your real self? Do you do the ice cream because, well, everybody else is doing it? Do you hang out at the swimming pool because, well, everybody else is doing it? Do you have a digital device in your hands at all time because you need it, or because there's something inside of you that is craving content? Are you faithful to yourself? I didn't say, are you faithful to a God or a universe? I said, are you faithful to yourself? Right. Throw it out there. See if it sticks. And if it does, it might be your assignment. Then again, it could be an opportunity. I'm Arroe, and that's the Daily Mess.